So today we have the privilege, the honor of recording a quick past versus present spotlight together. And to acknowledge some of the agreements we've made, we are going to do short interview style. I'm going to refrain from going deep into inquiry and questioning, which is easy for me to do. And again, I'm acknowledging that so that I can honor my own commitment. But thank you, brother, for being here. Let's jump in. The first question. Go back pre-FRD, Ryan before joining Front Row Dads. How would you have responded to this question? What do you do?
I am an entrepreneur and CEO of a very fast-moving and fast-growing company.
Yep. I love how you went back. I saw you, at least visually. I was imagining that you took yourself back to that time. And that's a simple and powerful answer. So thank you for that. Now, fast forward to today. Here with me now. What do you do, Ryan Levesque?
I was just in a group yesterday, and I have the best answer for this question. I do absolutely nothing.
Elaborate, please.
Exactly. It's one of those questions where when you answer that, you have to know the follow-up to that. I do nothing. I do absolutely nothing. What do I do today? I am a dad, first and foremost. I've optimized my life around the brief window that I have left with my two boys while they're at home, and have really built a life around that. We live as a family on a farm in Vermont, and so in that way, I'm a farmer. I spend my quote unquote work days doing a lot of writing, writer, and I am an investor. I invest in a lot of different things. And so I really split my time between those few roles and try to do it in a way that feels like it's a good balance, which is a constant exercise in recalibration.
Yeah. That's cool. That last part's really cool. And without giving reflection on all those things, which I could easily do as your friend, I do want to at least bring some awareness to your writing because it's been impactful for me. It's the type of writing that I sit down and remove distractions to read. It's the type of writing that I save. So I've told you many times your emails are too long in a complimentary way where you should charge people money for them. That's how long and deep and meaningful they are. And it just comes across as like the type of writing that I enjoy because it's something I can process and then go do something with, you know? So thanks for writing. Keep writing, brother.
Appreciate that.
Of course. Let's go to question 2. So again, pre-FRD, what did you value most and prioritize?
Money and making money.
Yeah. And you were good at it, right?
Yeah. Got really good. Still good at it.
Yeah, right. Yep. All right. Fast forward today. How do you answer that question? What do you value most and prioritize today?
Who I am doing life with.
Ooh. Wow. I also want to acknowledge your pace today. I've experienced fast Ryan. I've experienced slow Ryan. I've experienced more fast Ryan, honestly. Whereas there's something about you today, and I've experienced this other times, where you seem more at peace.
Well, I have to give you a bit of credit for that. The centering exercise and meditation that we went through definitely took me out of fast mode.
Oh, cool. Cool. All right. Awesome. I love that. All right. Let's go to the next question. I imagine and in spirit of part of what you just shared is going to unfold in the learning journey. So again, acknowledging my agreement to not get in there and create a whole podcast episode around that. Question number 3. Pre-FRD, how would Ryan have defined his role as a father?
Great question. I would have defined my role as a father primarily as a provider.
Yep.
And if I were to elaborate on that with a sentence or two, I thought a lot about financially what I was responsible for providing. So,
Mhm.
nice house, being able to pay for a nanny that was with our kids when they were very young, to be able to afford, you know, putting money away for retirement and for saving for college, and a lot of focus around financially what that meant, and taking that role seriously and thinking predominantly in those terms.
Yes. Yep. Understood. That lands. Shifting to today, how is it different? How do you define your role as a father today?
I said it to my boys at dinner the other day. I said, I feel like there's so much more I want to teach you
Hmm.
in the time that we have left. And by time we have left, I mean thinking in terms of the time that I have left with my kids at home before they move out of the house and either go to college or start a career, do something like that. So I've been thinking a lot about this window of time and how I want to maximize it. And I wrote this in one of my newsletters that you referenced, that what I'm optimizing for in this season of life is, to paraphrase Thoreau, to suck the marrow out of this season of life. And that is, I'll say this, and I don't want to elaborate too much, so I'm trying to be mindful of the response time, is I try to project 40 years into the future, looking back at the moment of time that I'm in right now, and ask myself, what would I give to have this again?
Mm.
And oftentimes when I say, would I give away $50,000 if I could go back in time 40 years and have 5 minutes of this again? The answer is often yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps me in those moments of challenge or difficulty where it feels like, oh, I just want to get through the day or through this moment, really reflect on that. So, in addition to being a teacher, to answer your question, guide, mentor, it is really about being present and for all of it.
Dude, man, this connects with something I was just thinking about this morning on my run. Um, and I'm gonna distill this so I don't go off into storytelling mode. But one of my favorite things to do, and I haven't done it as much lately, so that's why I'm saying you've just given me a healthy reminder, is binge watching my children. And dude, when they were young, like 2, 3, 5, it was so easy because I'd just drift off and stare at them, and like I could get lost in like, this is amazing. And to your point, there's nowhere else I need to be. These were moments where I started to experience like real peace and bliss, the cosmos that we've talked about and geeked out on. And I'm bringing that to awareness because now I find myself doing it less, and they look at me a little funny when I do binge watch them. They're like, "Dad, are you okay?" I'm like, I'm so okay. I'm perfect. And I don't even know always how to explain that to them, but it just connects with what you said, is that there's some moments where I'm like, this is it. This is being a dad and everything I need right now. Thank you, man. Okay. I think I have one more question. This is more, we can leave past versus present. Thank you for that gift, getting a glimpse, a short window back and then reframing to today. But coming back to today, as a veteran member of Front Row Dads, so just giving some quick context, you've been around for a while, you've led, you've contributed, you've shown up. My question is, if you were to offer advice or an invitation for a new dad or someone who isn't aware of a community like Front Row Dads, what would you invite them into? What do you think they need? And I want you to prescribe here. You know, oftentimes I catch myself in the world of projections, prescriptions, but what do you think they need if you're giving them a strong invitation?
Mm. As I think about universal words that I think apply no matter where you might be, it's to start from a place of serious intention.
Mm,
And there is an energetic shift when you are starting from a place of intention and adopting this identity of being a front row dad, of being a father. And I'll share a few words that have really resonated with me in a big way. There are few things in life that are forever. Fatherhood is forever.
mm,
Even if you outlive your kids, once a dad, you're always a dad.
mm-hmm.
And given that there are few things in life that are forever, because it's one of these things, I think it's one of these things that's really worth investing in being the best possible version of what that looks like for you. We have seasons of life where we might be playing a role or serving in a capacity, and it comes and goes. But fatherhood is forever. So that's the first thing that I would say.
Mm,
And the second thing that I would say is that fatherhood is a series of windows that open and close. And that windows don't last forever. Now, when one window closes, another one opens up, and oftentimes that next window is just as interesting and fascinating and challenging as the previous one. But the window that you might be leaving, in many cases, never opens again. And that goes to that place of being very intentional and savoring that moment. What I try to remind myself of doing, which is to remember to remember.
mm,
Take that mental snapshot and remind yourself, remember to remember this moment. So there's so much wisdom in this community that I've learned and picked up and try to implement very imperfectly and screw up on a daily basis. We all do.
yeah, yeah.
You and I have shared moments and stories of that and with our band. And it's not about being perfect. It's about that intention and trying to be the best possible father that you can. Because fatherhood's forever and it's worth
Mm,
it. Worth it.
yep. Yep. You said those words a bit ago, and I will never forget those words. I'm gonna give you the credit to those words. So people are like, where'd you hear that, Ryan Levesque? And it's so simple and so powerful. Those are the things I like in this season of life. What's simple and powerful? What's what's like just easily distilled yet profound? And a lot of times that comes out of your mouth. So thank you for that, and thank you for the windows. That's another thing that I've learned with you, which is so true, man. Like these windows open, there's energy to be with, and they close, and it all just grounds back to that word you use, intentional. Like if you're intentional, you're gonna be with all of it. If you're not, they're gonna open, close. You're gonna miss them, and then you're gonna do the regret dance, which stinks. So simple, powerful, profound. Ryan, yeah. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother.